Well, a few months ago, when these cards came out, I was thinking that they would be very expensive. And then the MSRP came out, and people said, "See, Rod, you were wrong. You were wrong. These cards will only be, if we use the 5090, for example, $2,000 US. That's still terribly expensive because that's $4,000 here in Canada. And after the tariffs, who knows how much will be in Canada? The MSRP. Remember, this is the MSRP. This is not an actual retail cost. A cost, for example, if you want to pick up a card now because the stock is so low and the demand is so high, on eBay, you'll find cards for $6,000. One video card that is probably anywhere from 10 to maybe 30% raw performance better than the last generation. If you pick up this card, you're very fortunate. You're very fortunate because you are rich. There isn't anyone else that's affording these cards, and that's making it so challenging for other people, that want to get a decent video card. How can you go out now and justify spending even $2,000 on a video card, let alone $6,000? There's been so much hype on these cards, and to be honest, and I hate to say this, but really the 50 series video cards with all the AI, mainly they're faking it. They're faking it. And as time passes by, more and more reviewers and other news agencies and people are going to come out and say this. AI is faking it. They're taking horribly low resolution images and upscaling everything. It's not raw, true visual quality or raw performance. You're not looking at 80% of an improvement of raw performance from the last generation. You're just not. And really, with the prices, that's the only way you could justify spending this much more than the previous generation if the card was, in fact, 100 or 200 or 300 or more percent faster. And, well, they're not. They're just not. And if Nvidia can't figure things out in the sense of, being able to supply the world with these, then there's always going to be a shortage, and maybe that's done intentionally. I don't know. I mean, I'm just reading a bunch of articles here, but this article, just look at the title there. Nvidia RTX 5080 and 5090 prices soaring to double or triple the MSRP amongst shortages. Yes. And I don't know if they're going to come down in price. I wouldn't say they will for 2025, to be honest. And this is bad news for a lot of people who want to get a new video card. There are other options, of course, Intel and AMD. However, if you want a top-tier video card, you are out of luck. And this is the other problem. AMD and Intel will not be competing with Nvidia. They said so. They're not going to be competing with Nvidia on the top-tier video cards, like, for example, the 5080 and the 5090. And that's very unfortunate. And this is another article here. Most RTX 50 series GPUs sold out in 5 minutes at Newegg. Entire inventory evaporated in 20 minutes. Demand and stock drive prices through the roof. That's nothing new. It isn't. And certainly Nvidia knows this. Now, this is going to surprise many. It surprised me. I thought, for example, a company like Newegg would get a heck of a lot of these video cards, like thousands, right? The key question here is how much stock Newegg actually had. Any guesses? Reports suggest Micro Center received only 233 5090 units across the entire U.S. And even Taiwan's allocation was a mere 84 units. What? How does this make any sense? I mean, if Nvidia can't actually manufacture these cards, there's a major, major problem here. Prices are, going to go way even beyond maybe $6,000. Stock is so limited. These figures illuminate the extremely concerning supply and the limited supply, of course, from Nvidia. Newegg is promising more inventory as it becomes available and suggests following their social media for updates. One alternative is to, of course, go to scalpers, like, for example, on eBay, and pay an absolute fortune for them. Like I said, maybe anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. But for most people, that is not an option. Or, I guess, you could just become a famous reviewer. And this article here actually speculates that the limited supply may be due to shared resources between Blackwell's gaming and data center GPUs. That's right, because a lot of data centers want these GPUs as well. So that's another good reason, and that's probably where most of the GPUs are going. Both likely use the same TSMC wafers, meaning each RTX 5090 and 5080 produced potentially reduces the supply of B100 and B200 AI accelerators. And there's really no timeline outlined by Nvidia at this particular moment for improved supply. Now, something else that this article here reminds us of is the fact that the 5090 on average is only around 25% faster than the 4090 non-DLS raw performance, that is. So keep that in mind as well. What are your thoughts on all of this? It's madness, right?